The final week of the regular season is upon us as Texas welcomes Kentucky for a 3-game set, the Wildcats' first trip to Austin since 2014.
And David, but I do think getting that big win is going to even pump their RPI a little bit higher and just make them look that much better on paper.
Now, we know Texas is a lock, but they want a top 8 seed, meaning if they get through the regionals, they'll automatically host the Super Regional. But after getting swept at Oklahoma last weekend, the RPI is down to 8. How much does that increase the importance? Ali Mitchell on an 8-game hit streak, and on deck is Peyton Plotz, Kentucky's best overall hitter.
If I'm Kentucky, you go back, you've probably seen a ton of video right now on Kavon, the OU series, so many pitches she throws. You go back to Tennessee, LSU even.
Lifted, left 14 home runs. A big out here early.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. You want to see that out of your pitcher, see her be able to move a little bit, get her feet, and just field her position. And for Kavon, one pitch, one out. You got to love it.
This Kentucky team has some good young talent, including Allie Blum, freshman from New Palestine, Indiana. Talking about this young Kentucky team, Carson Fall, freshman, will get the start in the circle. She's the only Kentucky player from Texas, from Bridge City. This is her second start since April the 9th, an ERA of 3.67.
Yeah, for Carson Fall, she's got that rise, change, curve, and for her, and this potent Texas offense, it's all about keeping them off balance and really utilizing that change. Talking about is really relying heavily on his offense. And yes, they score runs. They scored 17 against OU. You would think you'd pull away a W with those kind of numbers, but it's about scoring early. And they just keep coming back from behind. And he wants them to come out and really put the pressure on from inning 1.
To the left side, Ellie Hutchins at third, based on the competition. But you mentioned the run scored in Norman, but had to come from behind from big deficits in game 1, in game 3, just to have a shot late.
Oh, yeah. And they had a shot. Game 3, they had a runner on 3 in the top of the 7th, and it was 6-7, or close to that. There's a 1 run.
It was 8-7.
Yeah, 8-7.
One and two.
Good speed on that. That one coming in around 68 miles per hour with a rise ball. That's a tough one to catch up to, especially when, you know, our scouting reports are saying 64, 66. That's got a little hum on. Chase at a ball, eye level or high. That's not something she does often, clearly.
Mentioned the 4 runs last weekend at Oklahoma. 3 runs, 3 RBIs. 2 weeks ago here against LSU as the Longhorns took 2 of 3.
I like that pitch. That's where you want to live. Someone who's swinging at nearly everything. You're just nibbling right there, bottom half.
Popped up. Will it stay in play? It does. Third baseman Hutchins. And that ends the bottom of the first. Mia Scott's 2-out single, not enough. We're scoreless through 1. Rachel Lawson, 18 seasons as Kentucky head coach, 626 wins, most in Kentucky history.
They're what she's been able to do for Kentucky. So well respected, and what a huge recognition to be a part of that coaching staff.
Mia Scott anticipated the bunt, but then had a double clutch, and the throw to first is late. Hallie. You see any difference with Kavon so far early on?
No, I think, again, that was a changeup right there, and it's location and speed for that changeup, and that's going to keep her a little bit more successful. I think if you can take a little bit more off that speed, then you're going to keep these batters off balance. And again, not only that, corners. Texas up next.
Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. Kentucky and Mike White's Texas Longhorns, and upon being swept at Oklahoma last weekend at 12-71. Her second season at Texas. There's her final regular season series in a Longhorn uniform. Graduate from Rosebud, Arkansas.
Katie Stewart hesitate, and that ball gets fielded cleanly, she's probably station to station there. That was a very shallow ball, but the moment it was bobbled, she's able to score.
So Hunter at second with one out. Now Leanne Good, the Texas second baseman, down the first base line, and Borzilleri was at 357 back on April the 5th.
Yeah, she's got the speed. She's got the soft touch. She can drop the bunt.
Hunter, the runner at third with a run in. 1-2 from Fall. In RPI 31, they have 5 wins against teams in the top 50 of the RPI. They have only one loss, which you can say is a quote-unquote bad loss. They lost at home to Evansville, who's in the 200s in the RPI. But really, it's been such a tough schedule, of course, that Kentucky and every SEC team has had to go through. Wildcats 7-14 in the league coming in. First pitch strike to Carissa Hamilton.
They are close. And so again, I think it just plays so much of a big part that they're in this SEC, that they get this SEC grind. You're facing everyone who you're going to eventually have to face in postseason. So you get so many looks, so many reps.
Again, last season, every SEC team made it. This season, it seems likely all but one would make it, unless Missouri.
Said for Allie, she's just been pressing a little bit too much. Her walks are down, where earlier in the season she was taking a lot more walks. She was seeing a little bit better. Her strikeouts have gone up, where, again, start of season, seeing the ball a little bit better. In my mind, that's guessing a little bit. That's pressing, like Coach mentioned, and with the swings that we saw, they weren't expecting that rise ball as much as they saw it. And so already, second time through, Ashton Maloney has laid off both of those rise balls. So she's starting to make that adjustment as well. Fortunately, she went ahead and took a pitch nearly right down the middle.
Still ahead in the count, 2-1.
Yeah, I don't think she was just running through the box at that point.
A review, if it's held up, then Ashton Maloney has her 187th hit in her 3-year Longhorn career.
After review, the call on the field is upheld.
Yeah.
May all reviews be that fast.
Yeah.
Maloney on to lead off the third.
And this
Runner trying to get to third. Maloney will make it. It was a late break. On the throw, Henry goes to second, and 2 Longhorns are in scoring position.
And that's everything with Mia Scott showing bunt. Third base had to play in. She was creeping in before that bunt even. And with the
2 Wildcats there, and the ball is dropped. Henry scores. Atwood on her way to second, slides in safely. The third Kentucky Air. 3-0 Longhorns.
that base says it all for Coach Lawson, and she talked about it. Defense is key in this series. Mia Scott, bunt single. Atwood, Aaron in center field. This is not what you want to see. If you're Carson Fall as that freshman out there, I feel like she is really pitching a gem out there. Scoreboard's not showing it. Defense not helping her out with those 3 errors, but she has got to stay with this game plan because so far we haven't seen Texas really.
Tuesday. And by the way, fans, tomorrow's game has been moved up due to the chance of rain in the Austin area tomorrow evening. That is a noon Eastern, 11 a.m. first pitch tomorrow between these two squads. 1-1 to Hunter. Fouled off. Just like that, 7-0 Longhorns.
Victoria Hunter, and hopefully induce a couple ground balls.
Fall is charged with 5 earned runs out of the 7 allowed in her 2 1/3 innings of work, allowing 7 hits, including the big blast, grand slam by Vic Hunter. Leanne Good will be the first Texas hitter to face Julie Kelly.
Katie Bennett, the Texas left fielder.
Against Fall, was able to work the count to 3-2, then swung a rise ball to end the second inning. Just foul outside the third base bag. Mentioned her slump. She's 0 for her last 20.
Towards Carson Fall, the freshman. You're looking at the line. It is not showing what she did tonight. And I feel like you're looking at the hits. They're infield hits. What is the conversation to a freshman moving through this?
Well, you know, Carson did great. You know, granted she gave up the big hit, but what can you expect when you keep digging in that well? You know, they're expecting her to get every out, and that's just not happening. You know, Carson threw well. She competed. She mixed pitches. She did what she needed to do, and she'd still.
Those 15 home runs, second most by a sophomore in Kentucky history. And they have still been rising by the time it cleared the fence.
In Texas, with those 10-foot fences out there, not a lot of teams have those tall fences.
Ellie Blum, hard shot into the glove of Stu. The LSU series went the distance in games 1 and 3, won both times, but earned them. 128 pitches in the series opener, then 125 pitches in the rubber game 2 days later.
It's a lot of throwing, and this is someone who split time a lot more last year, right? So again, getting used to that. It's not that, I think Coach mentioned her stride stay this, then just losing some speed there. You're seeing it cut down and away.
Right into the glove of Mia Scott, the liner off the bat of Cassie Riesner, and that'll do it in the top of the 4th. Peyton Plot's solo shot to begin the inning cuts the Texas lead to 7-1. We'll hear from Longhorn head coach Mike White when we return.
Biggest difference coming through this one is Julie Kelly in the circle now, and the top of the order has not faced her. So big thing for Kelly. I mean, obviously she knows who she's going up for, but again, utilizing that drop ball, a different look to these hitters who have been looking at that rise and that curve from Carson Fall. Kaden Henry showing why she is that triple threat. She can bunt, she can slap, and oh, by the way, if you play me a little bit too far in, I can go ahead and get it right over your head. I think that's a hard one for Mitchell to be able to judge. That ball just kept going up, and Maloney not stopping this ball. If it hits your cut, you have a chance at home, but that ball is going away from third base. It's dragging her towards first, so she feels that with her speed, she's going to be able to score easily, and she does.
Now Reese Atwood lifted a foot. Atwood works the walk. Second time she's been on tonight. So Katie Stewart reached on. Vanessa Quiroga will be the pinch hitter. Pinch hitting for Julie Mitchell, the senior from Corpus Christi, Texas. 4 of her 12 hits this season are homers. That's a career high. 2 few weeks with that pitch count. Factor start Sunday at #1 Oklahoma. Didn't get it out in the 3rd. 96 pitches before she was pulled. 1-2. 2-2 now.
It's a nice pitch right there. But earlier in the game, as we've been talking about, this has been a higher strike zone. So what happened against OU? Putting in the work this week, going after that strike zone. And I know we're talking about it a lot, but Coach White brought it up. It has been about this changeup, and it is about utilizing it from the very first batter at any point of that count.
Clark back into first, but from 2-0 to keep things alive for the Wildcats. So a loss, if Kentucky is unable to make a miracle comeback here, would put Kentucky at 29-23. Again, you and I, Megan, believe if they're not a lock for the NCAA tournament, they are awfully close. RPI of 31 and above 500 overall record. They're the best conference in all 3 weeks. Comes through in just her 5 innings of work tonight for Texas.
Yeah, Tegan Cavan came out here on a mission with a plan, and I would have to say she executed. Other than the Peyton Plotz home run, one pitch you want to take back, she looked like